The Lord is I shepherd, I shall not want. Him maketh I like down in a green pastures. Him leadeth I beside still water. Them him restoreth I soul. Him leadeth I in the path of righteousness for him name's sake. Yea! Though I RASTA go walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I can't fear no evil. For thy rod and thy staff them comforted I and I. Who prepare a table before I. In the presence of our enemy, them who anointed I edu to no oil, make up run it over. Surely goodness and mercy. I go follow I all the days of I Ivan. Me I go dwell in the house of the Lord God. Jah. Kadamawe gromabea tela exag beer tanaista lina bashante shante 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 shante. Kadamawe gromabea tela. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushodamo, where we speak truth to power in my name. Black Rasta. Now, in every traditional African home, there is a black pot, and each time this black pot sits on the fire, there is something super sumptuous cooking, ingredients of so many different types, shapes and sizes, aromas, and even flavors. Put aside their differences and relocate into the black pot where they are subjected to some good amount of heating. In the aftermath, they produce food. Ironically, they do not even partake in the eating of the food. It is us, the eaters, who do. Yet every time, the black pot and the ingredients will collaborate to make food that they do not eat. What lesson can we derive from this? A lesson of selflessness, a lesson of generational thinking, and a lesson of sacrifice. My brother, my sister, any nation that does not embrace all these important factors of sacrifice, generational thinking, and even selflessness, it's not a nation, it's an empty box. Yes, my brother, my sister, how many people will continue to do the same old things if they are told that they would die the next day? Would you still save for that to be used by generations yet to come? How many of us are so selfish the moment we hear that we are dying, we want to eat up everything before we die? My brother, my sister, it's the Black Pot, aka Kukushonamo, where we speak truth to power, and we are live on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is Black Empire Media, and Black is spelled B-L-A-K-K. Empire is E-M-P-I-R-E, Empire Media. And here, we only speak truth to power. Here, we don't do politics. Here, we don't also do sports. Neither do we do religion. It's all about patriotism. That is what our nation needs. If we were just even 5% patriotic in this nation, it will be the next heaven. My brother, my sister, our country lacks patriotism. Our continent lacks patriotism. In the days when Africa was put on top of the map, it was all because of patriotism. People like Kunta Kinte, who would live and die in Africa. Oh yes, great people like Shaka Zulu and the rest of them who will do everything possible just to see their people happy and to make their land develop. Today we don't have that. All of us are running out of the nation, calling it accursed, calling our grandmothers and grandfathers witches and wizards, and everything negative we slap on our continent. My brother, my sister, this show is all about patriotism. And I want to say thank you so much for joining us. Now we are going on a 16 region patriotism tour, and it's called My Dear Ghana Tour. It's going to be starting on the 2nd of March. We'll be starting with Wa in the upper west region of Ghana. And when we go to any region, we'll hoist high a big flag of Ghana. We'll give 10,000 miniature flags for the streets, children, and everybody to wave around, my brother, my sister. I mean, people on the streets to wave on the streets so everybody can see. My brother, my sister, right after that, will give a lecture at a lecture hall. It could be a school or even an assembly, place. Right after that, we put up a concert, which will last only 2 hours, and then we'll move to the next region. Every Saturday and Sunday, this is what we are going to be doing. It's called the My Ghana Tour. You can donate to this great cause. It's going to involve a lot of spending. My brother, my sister, putting up live concerts, feeding people everywhere we go. After the lecture, everybody will get a drink and a pack of food. Right after that, when we have the concert, it's all going to be fun. You can support us by sending us Momo on the lines that are scrolling. Yes, in the scroll bar. And we will duly acknowledge you. In the interim, is the Blackport, a.k.a. Kukushonomo. Our nation needs patriotism, and we are proponents of patriotism. Come here, my youth. Now, today we have 4 very important issues to look at. And the very first one rolls on your screen. Remember to share the broadcast. Hit on the notification button, and also hit on the subscription button if you haven't done that yet. Manhyia frees Chairman Wontumi. Who is Chairman Wontumi? He's the owner of Wontumi Radio and TV. Oh, yes. Call it the Movement TV and the Wontumi Radio. He's a stalwart of the NPP. Oh, gosh. He is the regional chairman. In fact, the Ashanti regional chairman of the NPP. And that is the stronghold of the NPP. For that matter, this is the chairman general of the NPP. It's just logic. He's so powerful. Now, he allegedly said that he has his own empire, his own kingdom. And therefore, he had no regard for the Ashanti and his kingdom. But it came out that even though he was summoned before the chiefs and people of Ashanti, it came out finally that he has been freed. Why has he been freed? And this is breaking news. Run it, my youth. Watch it. It says, Manhyia clears Chairman Wontumi. Remember, for some days now, he said that he's been sick. And he sent some photos from his hospital bed. He went to Manhyia in pomp and pageantry. My brother, my sister. Run the story, my youth. Watch this. It says the Ashanti Traditional Council has reportedly cleared the Ashanti regional chairman of the ruling New Patriotic Party, NPP, Bernard Enchibosiakon, a.k.a. Chairman Wontumi, of any wrongdoing. Now, the chief summoned the NPP regional chairman after he allegedly made derogatory comments against the Ashanti Otufo Osetutu II. Now, according to Kumasi-based Oyerepa TV, Chairman Wontumi was cleared after his accuser, Koko Suhini Nana Kweku Dria, was advised to abstain from bringing political issues to the Manhyia Palace. A video shared by the media house showed one of the chiefs arguing on behalf of Wontumi during the sitting of the council on Monday, January 29, 2024, and that's today. The constitution says that chiefs should refrain from active politics. When the comments were being made, Nana Kokusuhini should have left the moment. The moment he heard Wontumi say that he cannot even challenge a statement made by the Ochiami, he shouldn't have sat there. The chief said in chief. The chief also said that Wontumi limited himself to a political kingdom, which means his statement was only about the NPP and not Ashanti and the Ashanti mine. Before the sitting, a video shared by Accra-based Star FM on X showed a lively and healthy-looking Wontumi arriving at the Manhyia Palace after he failed to appear before previously due to ill health. Wontumi could be seen bowing to greetings from some of the chiefs and shaking hands with some of them. The Ashanti Regional NPP chairman was accompanied by leading figures in the NPP, including the party's national chairman, Stephen Ntim, the general secretary, Justin Frimpong Kodua, and the Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, Oseiche Mensah Bonsu. Now, earlier, reports said the Kumasi Traditional Council was set to decide on the case before it. According to a report by myjoyonline.com, members of the council had been called into a crucial meeting on the matter. Dash it away. My brother, my sister, so this is the story. We are told that Chairman Wontumi has been freed. Did they watch the tape? Did they listen to the tape before inviting Chairman Wontumi in that dramatic style? If they did watch the tape, were they convinced that what Wontumi said was an affront to the Ashanti Kingdom? We all saw the same chiefs swearing on the head of Chairman Wontumi, saying that he had looked down on the people of Ashanti and that they would have to bring some of these people, including Lawyer Ampa, to justice. Traditionally, what changed all of a sudden? What changed all of a sudden? I don't want to conjecture anything, but if the chiefs stood on a certain platform, stood on a certain fact to be able to say, hey, this man has insulted us, and for that matter, we need him here. We also remember that Lawyer Ampao, who apologized earlier, also used derogatory language on the chiefs, who were not also happy, and invited him to come along with Chairman Wontumi, his boss. So what is the fate of Lawyer Ampao? Have they both been cleared? Why were they cleared? Come here. Now we are told that Kokosu Hene demeaned himself to the level Wontumi had to look down on him, and some other people had to look down on him by getting involved in party politics. According to the report, when he realized that they were talking politics, he should have just stood up and walked away. But he engrossed himself in the political talk to the point that Wontumi had to tell him, I have my political kingdom here. And according to them, they saw that to mean the NPP. Whatever it is, Ashanti has decided. I am glad that they have come to a certain consensus. I am glad that they have come to a certain point. Before this, it was alleged that Otumfuo said he was not interested in the issue. We were told that from the vineyard. But we still wanted to go ahead and find out if the Ashanti man will behave like Nogopo. They succeeded in getting Chairman Wontumi come over. And all they said was, you are free, you are cleared. We are rather blaming one of our own, Kokosu Hene. And he was warned never to bring political figures to the Manhyia palace anymore, or political issues. I am glad that chiefs have finally decided to abstain from politics, as the Constitution properly spelled it out. There are a lot of chiefs who are endorsing political candidates in Ghana. There are some who are even wearing party colors. There are some who sing party songs. There are some who vow that they will vote for a certain political candidate. In other words, endorsing that political candidate. There are some who even tell their subjects to vote for a certain political candidate. And yet, when these political people go to see them, they do not tell them, oh, please restrain from party politics. As it stands right now, Chairman Wontumi has been freed, and he is walking free. What do you think about it? They blamed Kokosu Hene and said he was the cause of this. What is going to happen to Lawyer Ampao? My brother, my sister, I am still in doubt what tape the chiefs of Ashanti listened to and stood on to invite Chairman Wontumi. If they knew that Kokosu Hini was at fault, why did they still invite Chairman Wontumi? Why were they so angry with Ampao, lawyer Ampao, and wanted him to come along with Chairman Wontumi? These are questions for the gods. But I would like to leave you with one message. Come here, my youth. You see, traditional authority is very powerful. The way we take decisions will decide whether the people will show us respect or not. The way we treat traditional authority, the way we treat our palaces will decide whether people would give us that respect or not. Why invite a man to the palace when you were sure that he was not at fault? Because when Wontumi arrived there, did they sit with him? Did they talk? Wontumi had already said the same things these people are saying. Days ago he said he was only talking about his own political kingdom. But the chief still insisted that he should come, to the point that they were even swearing the names of gods on Chairman Wontumi. What changed all of a sudden? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. This excuse that they are giving for clearing Wontumi, Wontumi had already given it to them. Told them that, hey, listen, I am not talking about the Ashanti kingdom. I'm talking about my own political kingdom, which is the NPP Ashanti. You rejected it and still invited him to come over, only for him to arrive in pomp and pageantry. And then you tell him, oh, you know you are cleared, you are free. It's Kokosu Hini that we are holding responsible for that mediocre talk. Did you just invite attention to the palace to demean one of your own? Of course, it's good that Kokosu Hini has been told that he is the cause of this. But is that the best way to handle such an issue? Did the Ashanti Hini actually say he was not interested in this matter and therefore the matter should slide? My brother, my sister, the way we handle issues like this will decide whether people would continue saying gibberish, garbage about the kingdom or not. In the interim, I want to say thank you to Chairman Wontumi for making time to respond to the call of the Ashanti Hini, even though he said he was ill. I want to also say thank you so much to the people of Ghana for being patient, especially people from the kingdom, and not visiting anybody with harm, especially at the time that it was eminent that Wontumi was not going to appear before the chiefs. There were allegations that were made by Ampao, lawyer Ampao. He said the chiefs of Ashanti are sleeping with women and people's wives, and that he will report to the Ashanti Hini one of his own chiefs tried to snatch his own wife. Can we go into that? Is that important? Yes, it is. A chief must be morally upright. You can't be sleeping with people's wives. It is bad and it's against tradition. Is it true that some of the chiefs are actually destroying the land in the name of Galamsey as it stands right now? If it's true, then they need to be earmarked and punished like the Ashanti Hini is doing. We need a kingdom that is without blemish. We need a kingdom that is super powerful when it comes to traditional authority. Not a kingdom that anybody can just walk to. Anybody can say, oh, it's just an invitation, so I can just walk in there and come out. No. When you are invited to the kingdom, you should shiver. You should go there with schnapps and so on and so forth. Did Chairman Wontumi bring all that? My brother, my sister, let's be careful how we treat traditional authority. And let's be careful about our utterances. they will come back to bite us. What would you benefit if you draw down the Ashanti kingdom and destroy it? Would it make you a better person? The more we support the Ashanti kingdom to stand on its feet, the better for traditional authority and power. There are things that democracy cannot do. It's just traditional authority that can handle. One word from the traditional authority and things are sorted out. You know what I mean? So we have to empower the traditional authority and make sure that they do the right thing. To the Ashanti Ini, I say kudos. To God be the glory. It's the Black Pot, a.k.a. Kukushonemo, where we speak truth to power. Next story. Now the next story takes us still to Kumasi, at a place called Bantama. There's a history. There are two schools of thought. We were told that Bantama was originally occupied by the Dagombes. When the Ashanti, we won't go too much into the history of this, went all the way to the northern region and solicited the might of the Dagombes and brought them, because of their physique, thick, tall, and handsome, to come and intermarry with Ashanti women so that at least they could elevate their heights, the heights of their children. In fact, the average Ashanti man is normally short and dark. The Dagomba man is dark as well, but he's tall and thick. Remember that the Dagombas founded the Mushi land. So when you say Musiba, it's the same as Dagombaba. My brother, the Ashantis went all the way after some wars and all that and brought the Dagombas over and called them brothers. That is why Ashanti Kotoko, we also have Nzima Kotoko and Dagomba Kotoko. But they call it Nwa Kotoko. Those Kotokos in Ghana, they are after the Ashanti, it's only two other Kotokos. Nzima Kotoko and Nwa Kotoko, and Nwa Kotoko is Dagomba Kotoko. Why? Nzima, because of Okonfo Anoche, is deep history, so we won't go too much into it. And then Nwa Kotoko, because of the friendship between the Ashantis and the Dagombes, who came together to fight wars and even to share secrets of spirituality. Juju, you can say that. So the Ashanti encouraged the Gombes to come and intermarry with Ashanti women and men. Because the average Dagomba man is physically tough. In the days, the Ashantis believed that the Dagombas did not have too much brain. In other words, they were not brainy. They were not sharp. The average Ashanti was a sharp thinker. But he was diminutive in figure, dwarfish, Lilliputian. You understand? So when we combine the two, that was a great Ashanti king. Very sharp. Long before history told us that we could do things like that, he felt that a tall Ashanti, a tall Dagomba man, handsome, physically built, coming to meet a short, dark Ashanti person, they could have offsprings that would be in between. And he succeeded. When he brought them, he took them to Bantama. And when they went there, they decided to name it Bantama. In the Bani, it means, my father gave it to me. Bantama. My father gave it to me. That's one school of thought. Another school of thought says that it was named after a certain river that used to crisscross the area called Bantama. As to whether that river is still alive or dead, we need to find out. But that's the history of Bantama. It's a very interesting area. I know Bantama too well as a Kumasi boy. Kennedy Agyapong'S brother falls flat at Bantama. Now, the guy who was running Bantama was my mate at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Asensu Boache. Me and him were in the same hall, Independence Hall. We used to call him Kabila when we were in school. Even when we were in school, he was so interested in MPP politics. And I used to wonder, why is this guy not thinking about finishing his education and doing it, but so interested, just like I was also interested in radio and Rasta and reggae. Nobody questioned me. Or maybe some people questioned me behind my back. And I was always wondering. Party meetings, he would go there, come back with the NPP flag, the T-shirt. This brother, it was even hard to make money, to leave the campus in a taxi, go for meetings, and you are not even recognized. You're just a small boy. But it paid off. Today, he's a minister of housing. Today, he's an MP. Today, at least, he's making some good cash for himself. His wife owns a certain panty company right here. My brother, my sister, he is not a poor boy. Hey, now hear this. Asensu Boakye has been running Bantama for some time now on the ticket of the NPP. He fell out with Kennedy Agyapong. You know Kennedy Agyapong, right? He fell out with him. And when he fell out with him, he's also an MP and a presidential aspirant of the NPP who did quite well, and many people applauded him, including me. He speaks his mind just like me. That is why we are friends. So, Kennedy Agyapong was mad at Asensu Boakye at the time that he was standing for the elections as a presidential aspirant. Asensu Boakye made some derogatory remarks about him, and he got angry and stomached it. Now that it was time to contest his seat at Bantama, he pushed his brother in there. Or maybe his brother was interested in it and he decided to support him. But his tactics, as usual, very bad and very poor. He went to the area. Number one, he said, if you vote my brother into power, I will make sure that I'll come and develop Bantama. I will build factories that will employ you. I will build roads for you from my own pocket. But if you don't vote for my brother, this guy, I won't build any factory and I won't build any road. Number two, if you make a mistake and vote out my brother, I'm going to give Asensu Boakye a showdown. He's a thief. His mother was even selling Kobe or something here. And right thinking people say, so if somebody's mother was selling fish or selling some fruits or selling some kose or cocoa and hustle truly without stealing and taking care of her son to go to school and finish, should it be an insult? People were not happy about that. I had tapes from that encounter. Kennedy Agyapong said, if Asensu Boakye was retained, he would expose him as a thief. And that he was taking a lot of money whilst he was in the presidency from people who wanted to come and seek counsel with the president, Nana Akufo-Addo. He was so close to Nana Akufo-Addo. So I asked a big question. Come here, my youth. I said, find a photograph of Kennedy Agyapong. I asked the question. I said, Ken, with all respect, so if they vote for your brother, you are going to keep the showdown? You are no longer going to expose Asensu Boakye for the crime against the nation? If yes, then you are not patriotic. Asensu Boakye, if you claim he's that criminal, then whether they vote for your brother or not, this is the right time to reveal those secrets, if you have any secrets at all. He has never been able to do that. Now his brother has lost. Maybe now he will come out with that secret. But another thing we asked him, you said when they vote for your brother, you will come and build a factory there to employ the people of Bantama. One other reason you gave was that you used to live in Bantama. And therefore, you are a Bantama boy. You have so many houses in Kumasi. He said in his own words, 26 houses. My brother, so if you vote my brother into power, I will come and develop the place. So I asked, if they don't vote your brother into power, does it mean that you are no longer a Bantama boy, or you've never been a Bantama boy? That history is cancelled. And two, if they don't vote your brother, you will not build the factory anymore. Then what is the difference between this talk and buying votes? It's the same thing. Buying votes is to give you some kind of favor. Monetary favor to be able to get your votes. If I promise you that I'm going to build you a factory, so vote for me. My brother, especially when you are going to vote for somebody, I don't see how different that is. Of course, we have our presidents promising us, when you vote us into power, this is what we will do, this is what we will do, this is what we do. The difference is that they are going to use the nation's money to do that. So that cannot be called bribery. But when a man says, if you vote my brother into power, I will use my own money to build a factory for you and build rules for you, it's vote buying. What do you think about it? That's what I think. What do you think about it? If Dangote now follows me to an area, oh, Blakk Rasta is my friend. If you vote him in this election, I will build a cement factory here for the people to enjoy. But if you don't vote him, I will not build any factory. That's vote buy. You are swaying the people to you via the money that you have in your pocket. It's different from when a presidential aspirant says, oh, when you vote me to power, I'm going to build this road here and build that factory because it's your own money I'm going to use to do that. He's just telling you his ideas. So he's selling the ideas to you, not the money. But when Kennedy Agyapong spoke, and in the case of Dangote, that we use for the example, money was talking, not ideas. Do you get it? I am so glad the results are out. And what are they saying? Come here, my youth. Watch this. NPP parliamentary primaries. Kennedy Agyapong's brother loses to Agyapong'S at Bantama. And sadly, they won't even mention Ralph Agyapong. They say Kennedy Agyapong's brother. He has overshadowed his brother. His brother is living in his shadows. If it continues like this, Ralph will never grab a seat. You must be able to stand on your own. Stop living in your brother's shadows. Or else your brother's enemies will be your enemies. Your brother's bullets will be your bullets. Your brother's spears will be your spears. I don't know how many people see the wisdom in this. If you are ready for that, then go ahead. And anybody who is ready for that is not politically mature. A politician should be able to decipher, yes, my brother doesn't speak too good, my brother is this, my brother is that, but you know, he's still my brother and I love him and blah, 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 blah. We are all work in progress and all. This is how politicians speak. But when you hide behind your brother, when you go to campaign, it's your brother who even talks for you. Look at what happened any which way. Run the story, my youth. Hey! And what does the story say? The Minister of Works and Housing and Member of Parliament for Bantama, Francis Asenso-Boakye, has been retained as the parliamentary candidate for the constituency, beating his contender Ralph Agyapong. The incumbent won with 78.22% of the total votes cast. Look at the percentage. Look at the gap. With the proposed factory and the roads, the people decided that no, they will still go after this guy. Means that something went wrong with the campaign. Ralph, if you want a political future, I think that you need to step out of your brother's shadows. Or else, you are going to continue like this. Of course, you could have brought him to talk on your behalf, but he took it personal. He fought his own personal battle using you. That's what he did. It was a personal battle he fought. I have a problem with Asenso, so I'm going to deal with Asenso here. I'll make sure that you don't get votes. I'll use my money to make sure that you are not part. Who wins votes like that? Silly as a lot of these delegates can be, we still have an iota of morals. Koko neighbor. Mami a oton koko no neighbor ni na ye den. Mami a no oton ko bi wa ha no neighbor ni Jesus Christ no a carpenter neighbor. Mami a no oton koko wa ha no. Hey. Bosu. Yes say enko wo. Things will change. Nothing is permanent. We have seen Kubolos become great men. And we have seen great men who are falling down the ladder. You would meet them and say, hey, look at Kofi Amoabeng. It's not the end of his life, but at least look at what he was. Johnny Walker, he owned a bank. Today, he's being refused visas to America. Common visa to go to America. Say, no, we won't give it to you. You don't deserve to go to our country. Kofi Amoabeng, at the height of his career, he was respected so heavily, and people saw him as a mover and a shaker. Today, he moves nothing, not even air. So today, you might be that rich man, but my brother, things can change. Things can change. Don't look down on poor people. It's the Blakk Pot, aka Kokoshonemo, where we speak truth to power. When we return, hey, we'll be reading your messages, and at the same time, we got more for you. Hey, interesting things. My attention has been drawn to this man here. How many people know him? How many people know him? This is KT Hammond. KT Hammond. He's an MP. He keeps embarrassing himself day in and day out. KT Hammond. This was the man who said, Ghanaian youth can never rule themselves because they have coconut heads. They have no brains. It's just coconut. He talks by heart like a man with no brains, this man. He's not a smart politician. It's a game of numbers. The youth control it. Today, if you fight with the youth, then you fight with the numbers. In my days, when I was part of the youth, we had the numbers. And we're running all over the place. A lot of my friends have died. A lot of my seniors have also died. But before they died, they made children. Now the children will form the next generation. They are the youth now. In every country, the youth is supposed to be more. All other things remaining equal. No smart politician would ever make derogatory statements about the youth. But this man did. He called the youth coconut-headed. He never apologized. This was the man in parliament who was calling for a new chamber for parliamentarians. Little did we know that he wanted to be the, how's it called, Mugabe of the parliament. Stay forever. Somebody was contending his seat. He did everything he could to let the NPP hierarchy ban that person and remove the person. But they said, no, he's genuine, he has to fight you. They went for the fight. And what happened there was an eyesore. Watch what he was saying in the presence of Ghana police and the threats.
I am going to ensure that he's mercilessly beaten to pulp. I will humiliate him at the post and get him beaten. We are, well, no, that we are going to organize. I'm just putting you on notice. I will not disorganize anything there. But get him wherever he is. He should leave town quickly. Chief, you are about 24 years in the government. Come and see, aha. My top boys, my idea, maybe na me so kra me who could AK-47 e mo ba bebre ne wa jar ho na person keto ade kura ho na wo de abegina ha say na wo buru kwada some of them came to my house by pacho boy na mo abobodam ma twa wo free here I'll poor like you over boom mema Mr. Commander, and I am going to give him a showdown. 2 forms of showdown. I'll beat him here, I will humiliate him here, and then organize for him to be beaten physically. Thank you very much. I will use so
This was taken from my Joy Online. My brother, my sister from Joy News. You heard him. Adwoa like that. I will beat him here, humiliate him here, and chase him and get him beaten physically to pulp. That's a sitting MP. And is also a Minister of State for Trade. They are an embarrassment to Ghanaian politics. This is the man who claims he has brains and the youth have coconuts. I'm sad I have to speak to an elderly person like this. Especially that me and him attended the same school, T. Ahmadi Secondary School. It's sad. Adwoa like that. I will beat him here, humiliate him here, and meet him and beat him physically again. Adwoa like that. I have been voting here for the past 24 years plus. That makes you what? God. Of course, he made his points. The other guy brought macho men allegedly to harass people. You could have spoken without insults and all that. He's a human being. He has feelings. But that is what separates you from an animal when you are able to control your emotions. How do you call your political opponent Adwoa like that? Means an animal like that. And you belong to the same party. He was even talking about AK-47 and all that. My brother, if AK-47 is already being heard in your primaries, then I can imagine what will happen when the real election comes. Hey! This is KT Hammond. And the people who voted for him, this is your honorable. He can't be my honorable. We'll call the youth, my children, your children's children, his own children, that they are coconut-headed. Then you are father coconut-head. You didn't say your children don't have coconut head. All your children are also youth, right? They also have coconut head. Some of these politicians, they talk as if they are gods. And it's sad. We are giving you power, loaning it to you to be able to serve us. And you lord it over us. Now you're talking about AK-47 and all that. That's my way. Adwoa Safo was also here, right? This is the most arrogant politician in Ghana, this woman. When you meet her, arrogance. The body chemistry. I don't know how Domi Kwabenya people even voted for this arrogant soul. Her father is supposed to be a very humble man of God, who assembles cars in Ghana and all that. I mean, he's averagely rich. By Ghanaian standards, he's rich. She's supposed to be a legal person, a lawyer, we are told. She's politically immature and extremely arrogant. There was a time she was deputy speaker or something in parliament. She had a certain post like that. I don't follow politicians, so I can't keep everything in my head. My brother, the president, Nana Akufo-Addo, made her a minister of state. She became the minister of women, gender, children, social welfare, all combined. She was also the MP for Dome Kwabenya. You know how she became MP for the last time? Her husband, Kennedy Agyapong, who went to Bantama to campaign for his own brother, did the same campaign for her. According to him, she called him and said, hey, it's tough. The stakes are so high and the competition is hard. If I don't get you, I'll lose this election. And Kennedy Agyapong, who is her baby father, he has children with her, decided to go and support her, and she won it. After she won it, arrogance. She left the Ministry of Gender, left the people of Dome Kwabenya, and ran away to America. Ghanaians were complaining. She was not coming to the parliament. They were not seeing her in the ministry. And when journalists were able to get in contact with her, after parliament had written several letters to her, and she ignored them according to parliament, she finally spoke to a journalist. Her accent had changed. She was no longer speaking with a Ghanaian accent. For the months that she had stayed in America, she was now speaking with an American accent. And she told us point blank, I will never forget this. She never apologized for it. She said that is her family first. And therefore, where the nation wants her services and her family wants her services, she will go to her family. That's what it means to say family first. Allegedly, her son or daughter was not well. And she left the ministry, abandoned everybody. No explanation, nothing, and went away. The president tried as much as possible to bring her back. She wouldn't come. When they were going to vote for the demonic e-levy, they flew her in a chartered plane in pomp and pageantry, fully pampered. Brought her here after pushing money into her Fidelity bank account, according to her baby father, Kennedy Agyapong, just to bribe her to come. She came and voted for the demonic e-levy, which never helped us after all. We still had to go to the IMF begging for money. This woman, we were told, while she was in her house, Akosua Frema, my brother, my sister, went to her, trying to bring her in a convoy to the Parliament House. According to Kennedy Agyapong, she left the woman standing in the sun, begging that she should come out because the e-levy was a game of numbers in a hung parliament. She was needed. She treated them like trash. At the end of the day, she came to vote amid some huge controversy. Some people said it was not her, others said it was her. She voted. And she went back to America, hopping from one TikTok camera to the other TikTok camera, singing and shaking herself. No respect. The president was so embarrassed, he sacked her. She wrote a letter thanking the president for giving her the opportunity to serve. To serve who? Family. When elections were coming, this immature, arrogant politician came back. If I were her, I would have had common sense to say that because of what happened, let me let this year slide and let me return another time. Because of how cheap they are when it comes to politics. She came back. Forgive me. After writing an apology letter to the president and her party, not even considering Ghanaians in that apology. She was serving yogurt, you know yogurt, ice cream, to constituents. They should take, drink, and forgive her. They taught her a bitter lesson. She was at the market and they were hooting at her. So arrogant. I don't know where they get this arrogance from. They swallow arrogance pills every day. This was the same woman who went for vetting. And MPs played the game so dumb, asking her trivial questions. Some of them she even messed up answering. I've said this time and again. I don't want to sound like a tape or repeat. Well, over the weekend, she was given a big blow. The people of Dome Kwabenya taught her a bitter lesson. They dropped her like a pack of hot coals. And we saw her in a video singing, Pim pim time, pim pim do. But from my best sorry. The bush of Oh my God. And those of you who don't speak Chi, I'll fall 1,000 times and I'll rise 1,000 times. Yes, 1,000 people hate me, but 1,000 more love me. But as long as my family eats, I'm okay. It's still about the family. Do you have the tape? Run the tape, Mayo. You saw it, right? Is this how a mature politician behaves? I don't know who advises her. But as for me, she's lost it in my eyes. She's ashamed to Ghanaian politics and the heritage of Ghana. When we return, we got more, my brethren. Hey! Wayo!
Blackpot, Coco Show, man.
It's the Black Pot, aka Kuku Showdown. Here we speak truth to power. Next story. I think we're doing some history, right? Mahama. Major Mahama finally gets justice. Oh my God. Who was Major Mahama? The gentleman here was my family relative. In fact, a relative of mine. Yeah, relative. The day that I heard he had died, I shed tears. I even made a song for him. How many of us remember the song? Okay. So this was a man who went all the way to Dantre Boase. He had been sent there to go and work as a soldier. Galamsey, illegal mining. And in order to keep fit, he will jog in the mornings. One morning he was jogging. That was the story. And some indigents saw him jogging. They saw that he had a gun, pistol. And then they started shouting, armed robber, Kromfue, Kromfue. He told them he was a soldier. But he was dressed in mufti. After all, he was jogging. They ganged up on him. He could have fired shots. But he told himself probably, these are the people I'm supposed to be protecting. Why must I kill them? Long story cut short, they beat him until they killed him. The pictures are so gory. That day, Ghana came to a standstill. They stripped him naked. He left behind a wife and 2 children. I've been in contact with the wife. They even set the body on fire. The father couldn't take it. When the mother heard it, she collapsed. She was in England then. Hey, even the burial, they couldn't expose the body. The body was all destroyed. They wrapped it in calico. Right after that, the president decided to push for him to be promoted from captain to major. And they built a statue after all of us pushed, including the father, to have an honorarium like that for him. And we have the statue right here in Accra. Today, judgment and justice had a leeway. Run it, my youth. 12 suspects in Major Mahama murder case sentenced to life imprisonment. 12 of the 14 individuals implicated in the trial concerning the murder of Major Maxwell Mahama have been sentenced to life imprisonment. The judgment was delivered after they were found guilty of murder conspiracy to commit murder, and abetment of murder. The jury, presiding over the case involving the alleged murder, delivered their verdict on the culpability of the 14 defendants accused of conspiracy to commit murder and abetment of murder, citynewsroom.com reports. This case, dating back to 2017, 6 years ago, has reached its concluding phase as both the prosecution and the defense have presented their arguments before the judge and jury. Justice Mariama Owusu, the presiding judge, is currently summarizing the relevant laws pertaining to the charges and the evidence submitted during the trial to aid the jury in their deliberations. On Thursday, January 25, 2024, Patrick Enim Ado, representing the 13th and 14th accused, began his final address to the jury, concluding on Monday, January 29. Major Mahama tragically lost his life in a lynching incident at Denchroboase in the Central Region on May 29, 2017, while on duty, reportedly mistaken for a robber. Gosh. My brother, whether you mistook him for a robber or he was a robber, you had no right lynching him. The laws are working. Look at them. They are all going in there for life. There were even women amongst them, those who were setting the fire. This will never bring back Major Mahama to his family. His children will never see him again. His wife will never see him again. His mother is already traumatized. He's gone. Of course, as a soldier, you are always prepared for the bullet that will take your life. A lot of American soldiers have a saying, my name is not on any bullet. In other words, much as they know bullets can kill them, they have a belief subconsciously that the bullet that will kill them has not been manufactured yet. But his was manufactured. They beat him. They even shot him. I spoke with the father and he told me, not even 10 people could have brought down my son. They were many. And the judgment tells us that yes, he started with about 20 and more, but 14 have been found culpable and they are going in there. We are grateful for the law and we are grateful for whatever decision has been taken, much as this will not bring back the beautiful soul, it will at least soothe some wounds. Major Mahama, rest in peace. Anyway, when we return, we will read your comments. Hi! Woyo!
Blakk, Coco Show, man.
It's the Black Pot, aka Coco Show, and here we speak truth to power. Let's see your comments right now. All right. Wanini Boy says, welcome back, Blakk. Dr. Ganzi says, big up Blakk, watching you live from Scotland. Hey, blessed love, my brother. Wanini Boy says, another blessed Monday. Every Monday is your birthday, for real, you're right. Tairu Ibrahim says, Black Rasta #1 teacher. Duke Jerry says, watching from Tokurano. Tokrano. I love that. Asma Bandawan says, we thank God for another beautiful day. Welcome back, legendary Black Rasta. More fire. Amali for Richard. Long time no see. Says, good evening, boss. I can't wait to welcome you to Bolga on your patriotic tour. Zari. Yes, in advance. Legendary. Blessed love. We will be there. Gosway Jata says, Black Rasta will come. Woyo. Black Rasta is here. Benzino says, African teacher Black. I really smell some fish. I smell fishiness in this Wontumi case because they couldn't even tell him to bring a fowl. Eh? Yes, they couldn't even tell him to bring a fowl. And we didn't hear any discussions going on for him to even speak. Okay. Sufyan Sulebana says, maximum respect to my godfather, Black Rasta and the crew. Happy watching you live. Woyoy. Mohammed Banjaya one says, it's a beautiful Monday. And the visionary lecturer, Black Rasta, is here to open the mindsets of the average Africans with the black part. Please, let's support the Dear Ghana tour. Woyoy. Signed MC Scorpion from Ashaima. Ras Milan says, hey, greetings, Black Rasta. Ghana is sinking day in and day out due to the carelessness of some misleaders calling themselves leaders. If this is how they will be handling issues in Ghana, then we are doomed. Yeah. Send you more messages in. We will read them in the second batch. For now, shall we do some history? Next story is Ashanti, the only kingdom in Ghana. Is Ashanti the only kingdom in Ghana? I know that this question is going to ruffle feathers, but history is not a respecter of persons. Run the story, my youth. Now there's a story when Chairman Wontumi went all the way to the Manhyia Palace. The chiefs of Ashanti had this to tell Chairman Wontumi. Only the Asante has a kingdom in Ghana. And this is the Ashanti chiefdom talking. Now the Asanteman Traditional Council has warned the Ashanti regional chairman of the ruling New Patriotic Party, Bernard Nchibo-Siakun, a.k.a. Chairman Wontumi, to be vigilant with the use of the word kingdom. Listen, be careful the way you use the word kingdom. The Ashanti chiefs gave this warning when Chairman Wontumi appeared before them after he was accused of denigrating the Asante Otunfo Osetutu II by one of the chiefs, Kokosu Hine, Nana Kwekudua. The chiefs, however, cleared Wontumi of any wrongdoing during the sitting on the matter on Monday. That's today, the 29th of January 2024. The Bantama Hine, Bafo Owusu Amankwetia IV, who chaired the council, said that Chairman Wontumi boasting about having his own kingdom is what has led to this impasse. He said that it is only the Asante Hine, Otunfo Osetutu II, who was a kingdom in Asante-Mai. And the whole of Ghana, for that matter. This is where my interest is. Dash it away. Is it true that the Ashanti kingdom is the only kingdom in Ghana right now? In fact, by our constitution, there's not even supposed to be a kingdom. This is supposed to be what is known as a republic. Loosely saying. But let's go into the history of kingdoms in Ghana. Now, the very first people to come to this part of the land today called Ghana, we are told are the Guans. Who are the Guans? There are so many different pockets of people. The Gonjes, the Latte, the Boso, and so many different groups. You find some of them in the eastern region, some of them in the northern region, like the Nauri and the Gonja. They all speak different pockets of languages, but they are called the Guans. Just as we have the Moli Dagmani, they are also a group of people, but their languages are similar. My brother, we are told that by 1000 AD they were already here. But they had to leave this country and go into the Ghana Empire. You know, by 750 AD. It means they were here long before 750 AD. But after they went to the Ghana kingdom, they returned around 1000 AD after the falling of the Ghana kingdom under their leader known as Tinkamenen. Why did they go to the Ghana kingdom? Trade was booming. So, all these wonderful people known as the Guans went in there to partake in the trade. And when the Ghana kingdom crumbled, they returned around 1000 AD. In fact, the Guans had an empire. In fact, they had a kingdom. The Guans are even said to own some parts of the Ashanti. But the Ashantis defeated them later, disintegrated them, and they moved into some other areas as we see them today, destroying their kingdom. So their kingdom would not be found anymore. Is that correct? Now watch this. This is about the Guans. It's telling you about the Guans. They had a certain kingdom called the Asata. My brother, my sister. And this Asata, my brother, my sister, was a kingdom that was around 1500 AD. In other words, 1500 AD. Watch this. About this time, too, another group of Guans had established the powerful kingdom of Atara, not Asata, Atara of Finam. And it lasted how many years? 1500 to 1701. And anyone who knows Ashanti history knows what happened in 1701. Do you remember? That was when Osei Tutu the First was killed. Right? My brother, my sister, the Atara of Finam. That was a powerful kingdom by the Guans. In the Afram plains, Atara of Finam stretched as far west as to Adanse to the northwest. The kingdom shared boundaries with Bonomanso and ended in the south of the west side of the Volta. Their capital was known as Sensimanso or Srimanso and was located at the site of the present day Atimpuku. Right now, who are the people who have taken over Atimpuku? Some very wonderful, beautiful people. I visit their king every now and then. This is the story of the wonderful ones who established their kingdom. And check the date, 1500. 1500. That means the beginning of the 16th century. And it collapsed under the Ashanti in the beginning of the 18th century. But when did the Ashanti kingdom come into being? The Ashanti kingdom came into being when Okonfo Anochi came together with Osei Tutu the First. And then they brought Sikajwa, aka the golden stool, down to seal the Ashanti kingdom's rise. My brother, when did this happen? You saw it in the quiz. The late 1600s. Osei Tutu himself, according to history, was born around 1695. We have some skirmishes with the date. 1695. My brother. So the Ashanti kingdom itself came into being, my brother, my sister, somewhere in the 17th century, the end of the 17th century or beginning of the 18th century. So the Guan kingdom was there before the Ashanti kingdom. I want to establish something. But the Ashanti kingdom came to diminish it. Then there was also Denchra. According to the Denchra people, Ashanti actually borrowed, they use the word steal, but I don't want to use it. They borrowed a lot of their culture, including the story of the golden stool and so on and so forth. My brother, my sister, but in 1701, they also destroyed the Denchira kingdom. The same time that the Ashanti kingdom destroyed the Guan kingdom, the Atara of Finam. Same time, they had a king called, what was his name? The Denchira king. He's trying to go. Hi. It will come. Now this king loved women. The Denchira king. He was all about women. And the Ashantis defeated him at Feyiase. That was where Okonfo Anochi spat on the ground. And a tree came out. A kola tree, which recently was felled. 1701. In Tim Jakari. Jesus have mercy. Okay, oh yeah, go minima say. In Tim Jakari. In Tim Jakari was his name. That was the king. He had Osetutu as a prisoner in his yard. And he was there with Okonfo Anochi. That was how they became friends. The Denchira was also destroyed under Ntim Jakari in 1701. So 2 kingdoms destroyed by the Ashanti. But before all these kingdoms, you know the first kingdom? You know the first kingdom? Watch this. 1409, the Dagbon. Not the Guan. Dagbon. According to tradition, the Dagomba kingdom was founded by northern invaders in the 14th century. It extended south to the Black Volta River, but it was reduced in size by the conquest of the Guan, that's the Gonja. Yes, under Ndeura Jakpa. Reduced to size, but the kingdom still existed. There is no history ever that the Dagomba kingdom was destroyed like we had the Denchira and then the Guan kingdoms. Yes, they had fights. Asantis won, some of the fight and some other, but the kingdom was still standing till they became friends. So I don't know what it is when it said that there's only one kingdom in Ghana. When we live in a republic where we are not supposed to have kingdoms. And 2, to say that the only kingdom is the Ashanti kingdom, in fact, is erroneous. I don't think that will be fair to history when we say things like this. The oldest kingdom was the Dagomba kingdom. It was out of the Dagomba came the Musi, and they still have their kingdom in Burkina Faso, just like the Ashanti kingdom. I visited them the other day. There's a photo of me and Mogonaba. Let's respect traditional authority. It's good to try and promote our culture and all that, but we can promote our culture without looking down on other cultures. We are lovers of the tradition. Yeah, we have the kingdoms still existing in one way or the other. But in a republic, the republic's constitution is superior over all those kingdom laws because we live in a republic. Please, Ashanti chiefs, let's be careful the way we promote our history. Let's read our history well and get to know well what our history is. In the interim, it's the Blackpot, a.k.a. Kukushonemo, and here we speak truth to power. Next story, my youth. All right, we're done. All right. Let's see. What story do you have for us? Dan Daniel says, good afternoon from the US. Thank you. Zache Emmanuel says, respect Blakk. And then Oscar Pendragon says, thank you, Blakk, for the knowledge of history you are impacting on us. Blessed love, Oscar. And then, who knows? Kudwaji. I love that name. Respect, legend. Let's say love. And then we have Delari. Says, come here, my youth. Kwame Logoso says, did I miss the show? Delari says, greetings, legendary Blakk. Kwame Logoso comes back to say, a denchem, that's crocodile, laying bare mouth opened on the bank doesn't mean death. I like that proverb. If a crocodile lies with the mouth opened like that at the bank of the river, doesn't mean it's dead. Try. He says, Wayoy! Isa Umar Farouk says, Wayoy Blakk. Thanks for the history aspect of the show. Blessed my youth. All right? Well, this is where we call it an end. And remember, let's all come together, celebrate our powerful histories, our powerful kingdoms. And you see, I've tried to avoid this, but let me bring it. If anything at all, the Ashanti kingdom was eradicated by the British when Ya Asantewaa and the king, Prempeh I, were taken out. Read history. 1900, when Ya Asantewaa was taken away to Mahé in the Seychelles. Prempeh I had been there 2 years earlier. From 1897, Prempeh I had been carried. Ashanti had no king. Ashanti had no king for several years. And the British dismantled the Ashanti kingdom and said that it ceased to exist. There was no kingdom anymore. But if chiefs can still come out after all this history and say Ashanti kingdom is the only kingdom in Ghana, it looks like, I'm happy history is coming out though. It will make people read history. History is sweet. You bring the history, we talk our history. It helps people learn history. When people went to court to fight election results, it made a lot of people want to study law. Today we have a lot of lawyers. It will bring historians as well. The Ashanti kingdom was dismantled by the British. Yes, in 1897, when Prempeh was taken out, there was no king of the Ashanti till Prempeh returned. And he even returned changing his name and changing his religion. He had become a Christian and was preaching the Bible. But even with that, we say that the kingdom still existed. And we respect that. Please, let's speak history properly. You know how much I love history and I love the kingdoms and traditional power, but let's keep the history straight. It's the Blakk Pot, a.k.a. Kukushodomo, where we speak truth to power. I'll see you again tomorrow. Same time, 5 p.m. Until then, I love you. Wayo! Power! Power!